Penelope is an amazing gaslighter. The way she is pretending that her friend is crazy when inside she's quaking. Girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight. Anyone that can lie to their best friend like that is demonic. You gotta be demonic. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is I, Miata Ade Lebele. Hey. And I am back to review episode 2 of season 2 of Bridgerton. I obviously have my alcohol. Like, listen guys, I am getting called out. You guys are calling me out for my cheap alcohol choices. First of all, how dare you? Like, okay, I'm an actress. How much money do you think I have, you guys? Like, the answer is none.
Hey, cuz. Heard you're having money problems.
No, you didn't.
I will say this week, my husband got us some sort of champagne from Costco. So bitch, we're moving on up. Okay, we moving up, hey. I have not actually had any shots yet. I have not taken any sips yet. So I'm gonna get to that right now. And since y'all were getting on me about my little rum, now I'm gonna go back to my Trader Joe's tequila. I lied, we're out of tequila. So it's actually back to the rum. Okay, I'm back. I had to get some popcorn, but now we are in it. We're gonna do these shots. And let's just do these shots in a fast forward. Let's just do a little fast forward type of montage, okay? Okay, I'm so happy. Okay, we got our popcorn, we got our alky. Let's watch episode 2. Boop, boop. Let's go, move! Hey guys, before we even start, I just wanted to say a very just heartfelt thank you to one of my subscribers, I Always Shine, who sent me money because she wanted me to have better alcohol. Thank you, sweetie. That is so kind of you. I mean, thank you. You know I'm out here drinking Kirkland champagne and Trader Joe's rum, and now I can get brand names. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
Any suitor wishing to gain an audience with Miss Edwina Sharma must first tame the rather prickly spinster of a beast, otherwise known as her sister.
So that actually is pretty close to what Lady Whistledown does say about Kate in the books itself. Everyone knows that in order to get to Edwina, you've got to get through Kate, who is a monster.
Lord Lumley at the top.
Is he not something of a dandy?
I would use the term gallant.
Why didn't she get with Lord Lumley? Sorry, this is skipping ahead to like several episodes, but my friends have reminded me that Lord Lumley would have been a really good match for Edwina. Why did they never come back to that? I feel like Edwina and him made a really good match. You know what I mean?
To this year's players,
I'm sorry, Jonathan Bailey's so hot. Like, look at the way he's staring at me right now. Like, he's staring at you that way too, but like, look at the way he's staring at me. Like, oh my God, this man.
I wanna sit on it.
So in addition to everything I've now read of you, your dubious and libertine reputation goes before you.
Okay, so yeah, so we're kind of getting into, they kind of just touch on a little bit. I mentioned this in the first episode. Kate really does not like Anthony based on what she's read about him and Lady Whistledown. So Kate loves the goss. She loves the hot goss. She loves reading Lady Whistledown, even though she pretends she's above it. And so yeah, a lot of her dislike of Anthony straight up comes from what Penelope is writing about Anthony. It is so funny that like, Eloise's best friend is constantly dogging like her best friend's family. Like Penelope is so messy.
For Bridgerton, end of the queue.
Book Anthony would have taken a boot to all of their faces. I'm just saying, like, Boot Anthony would not have had any of these little boys yelling at him. He would have taken them the fuck down.
What you must find, my dear, is happiness. Penelope.
It's so interesting. I feel like Eloise, of all the other actors, has the most anachronistic, I guess, movements. Like, all of her, like, you know, like, I could totally, like, do this, like, like, which was the kind of stuff that I feel like I do in real life. But she feels so out of place sometimes compared to the other actors in the show who are very much saying very, like, and I know her character is supposed to be a little bit different than the other characters, but it's always so, I have no problem with the choices. It's just very interesting to watch her be like, and it's just feels like it's so out of place with the type of show that we're watching. But again, it's hilarious. It's fun. We love it. I'm just trying to be nicer to the show, okay? I'm trying my hardest to find things that I love about this season so people stop thinking I'm a bitch.
My brother.
No, not Colin. Colin!
The first time I saw his goatee, I wanted to vomit. Some men just can't do a goatee. This is a man that should never do a goatee. When they saw the goatee on his face, they should have promptly kicked him in the face and said, no, we can't do that. I cannot believe that we had to go through several episodes. He went to go see Marina, I believe, with that goatee on his face. He deserved everything he got. When Marina shut him down again, it's because he had the goatee on his face. Baby, take that rat off of your face, please. My God, it's terrible, terrible.
Things will not change.
Oh God, look at it. It's still on his face. I know we're only 1 second past where I was a second ago, but it's still on his face. Now, are we looking at it? Did y'all look closely? What is this? What is this?
Brother,
Colin!
you set aside the latest
Oh God, it's still on his face.
Let's get you to the doctor post-haste. This strange fuzzy growth on your chin is no doubt...
Thank you. Get the fuck off.
To ready yourselves for the races today. We will be attending, united as one.
Okay, so The Races, not a book. It's not in the books at all. It's a show invention. To varying degrees of success, I feel like. We'll talk about it after we actually see The Races, but yeah, we'll talk about it after we watch the actual races. But yeah, completely show invention.
Rich, it appears retirement suits you well.
If only he were retired.
Listen, I love the actor that plays Will. Why is he in this season? I'm sorry, like Simon's not even here. It's really weird. Like, this is one of the subplots that I'm like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why are we spending any time with characters who are not Bridgertons? I mean, why are we not spending time? Why are we spending time with any characters who are not Featheringtons at this point? You know what I mean? I'm willing to take crumbs. Why are we spending time with these people? Now, I am glad, always gonna be glad to have some Black representation on this show. Hell yeah. But if it is a subplot that simply does not forward the story in any way, and Will's story does not, I don't understand why we have it here when we could be focusing on our leads instead. I would take a scene that is 5 minutes long of nothing but Kate and Anthony trading just like evil looks at each other over another subplot in the show. Lady Bridgerton was just about to say, your father, you know, and then she cut off. I want to hear so much more about Violet and Edmund's courtship. Like, they had a love to end all loves before he passed away. She is going to stay in love with him for the rest of her life, even though I do want her to get some bang, bang, boom, boom at some point. She doesn't in the books. I hope in the show that Violet finally finds just a penis she can sit on when she needs to. But, like, she and Edmund had a beautiful love story, and I hope over the course of more seasons, we get flashbacks to happier times between Violet and Edmund, because I would love to see them. They loved each other.
Would make sure.
Miss Edwina, allow me to fetch a lemonade for you.
That would be most agreeable, thank you.
Now that I'm doing a rewatch, I think they're trying to play... They called Lord Lumley a dandy earlier. A dandy is usually a man who's kind of like... Usually they're also described as peacocks. They're men who are very much... they care a lot about their appearance. They care about how they come across in public. They wear really bright colors. Often men that were gay were called dandies. I don't think that they're trying to portray Lord Lumley as gay. I do think that they are trying to portray him as a man who very much cares about what he looks like, and that might be why they didn't think Edwina should end up with him, but I don't think that they showed enough of him being kind of like over the top, because he just seems like kind of awkward and cute to me. And I think Edwina being adorable but very in charge of herself, and Lord Lumley, who is also adorable but like maybe a little like kind of airheaded, would have been a cute dynamic together. So I don't know, I really think that they would have been a good couple. I know that, you know, at the end of the series we see Edwina with possibly may get with the prince, and she'll be a princess. Honestly, Charithra is the prettiest woman ever, and she would look amazing as a princess. But I do think it's weird that they introduced a character like Lord Lumley, who honestly wouldn't have been a bad match, right? I just love how Anthony snuck his way in there over Lord Lumley. I love how he just gets his body up in there like he's a golden retriever. Look at Lady Danbury's face right now. I everything. This woman right here, this extra has been giving all episode. She's been disturbed from the jump. We love her. I don't know that I love this scene. We'll see on my, as I keep going, but I love how Anthony snuck his way in and finessed all of this.
Wanted to hear more about your travels?
I thought you would have been bored of my travels by now.
Okay. Did they have any chemistry? Now, I believe in the actors of this show, and I believe that they can do anything. So maybe in their season, which very well may be next season, we'll see like really sexy chemistry between the two of them. But right now, it is like this sexless, unrequited crush, which honestly, very much in the books too. So I'm not gonna take away from that. But it's now that you can see it, it's not on the page, but you're seeing it. It's hard to imagine these two having this like lust-filled relationship. Because even the music they're playing is like, looks like it would be in like Home Alone. Like the music is very like dum 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 dum. Like nothing feels sexy between these two. So I'm very much like, okay. Like how are they gonna make these two be people that we wanna see banging next season or the season following? Keep watching.
It's impossible. To mere mortals, perhaps, but I'm beginning to sense my true power now.
Okay, just real quick, I said this in the last episode, basically everything that happens with Eloise and Penelope is show invention. So if you guys are super annoyed by Eloise, I would say she's not this annoying in the books by far. In fact, in the books, you think she might be Lady Whistledown because she's constantly a wallflower. She's constantly like looking at the action. She writes very late at night. And I don't want to give away too many spoilers. You're going to find out who she's writing to at night. I've already given away who her future husband is, if the show keeps to who her future husband is. But yeah, she's very, very, very different here. It's going to make me very, very, very interested in her dynamic with her and her future husband. Oh, I do want to understand how this Eloise, who's very different than book Eloise, is going to work out with show Philip, who's very different than book Philip. So maybe it'll work, with what they're doing. But yeah, every change they make makes me interested in like, is this going to work out, right?
How it feels.
Like paper.
Precisely. The paper stock is the same texture as that of Whistledown.
It's not all.
Bitch, there has to be more than one pamphlet using that paper. Okay. What are we talking about? All right. This whole spy shit. Let it go, bitch. Go get your shit rocked. Go clap some cheeks. Go suck some dick. I don't know. Do something. But this her trying to find out Lady Whistledown and the Queen trying to find out Lady Whistledown. It's too many people concerned with Lady Whistledown. It's just too many people. I don't care. Sorry, I'm being nice. Yay, show.
Yes, I must seem.
I did not say.
You were thinking it.
Penelope is an amazing gaslighter. The way she is pretending that her friend is crazy when inside she's quaking. Girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight. God, she is so good at it.
Evidently.
Anyone that can lie to their best friend like that is demonic. You gotta be demonic.
Seems Miss Edwina desires a love match, something the Viscount clearly does not.
I see.
Perhaps her mind can be changed.
Perhaps so can the Viscounts.
That I see is so... Sorry, I didn't really notice all the things in my first rewatch, or my first watch, but that I see. Violet does see. Her son, in this version of the show, her son watched her husband die, right? And in the books, Eloise watches her father die. In the books, Eloise is the one who sees her father die. But in the show, it's Anthony. And so that I see, she knows all of the pain her son went through after the father's death, the responsibility he took on, the pain of watching his mother grieve his father. And when she says, Lady Jamboree saying, perhaps the girl's mind can be changed, and she's saying, so can the Viscount. I love that she's like, I'm not going to give up on my son. I'm going to make him see that love matters, even if one day you can lose your spouse. Sorry, it makes me emotional because losing one spouse is just a really, it's a big fear of a lot of us, and just her saying that you know, maybe I can change my son's mind is beautiful. Violet is really gorgeous. God, I have a newfound respect for her, particularly this season, because she cares about her kids so much, and she cares about who they are. She wants them to find partners, but she really does care about who they are on the inside, and I love that about her.
Not to worry. Lord Bridgerton has been keeping us entertained.
Why in the world did Anthony take Kate's, lemonade? The way he takes a cup of lemonade, I kept waiting for him to pass it to her. He drinks it like the petty bitch he is.
I promise you, men do not deserve rights. Men do not deserve rights.
He and Kate are such petty bitches. That's where they belong together. He took a woman's cup of lemonade. Bitch, what? So good. So good. I don't even know if that was supposed to be in the script. I could totally see Jonathan Bailey just taking the lemonade and being like, I'm drinking it. I love them. Baby, when he looks at her while she's whistling, he wants it. He's like, a woman can do that? Everything she does, he is intensely attracted to. I don't care how annoyed he looks. He's like, every time Kate does something, he wants this woman. Oh! It feels very out of character for Kate to be this excited, considering how stoic they have her all season. Like, she is like a statue for so much of the season, and seeing her smile sometimes is always like shocking because she so often keeps that stoicism in her face. So I do think I saw some people be like, this feels out of character, or this doesn't even feel like something that it's hard. First off, I'm drunk. It's hard for me to articulate myself. But secondly, this whole show is fantastical. I've been watching some people talk about the fashion of the show, and everything about the show is fake. So what can I even say about things that don't feel like they are time period, appropriate? Like, for fuck's sake, we have people of color in our leads in this show, so I can allow for them acting in a way that I do not feel would be appropriate for the time period, because everything in the show is a fantasy. So, yeah.
He's never stomached it, even back at Oxford.
This man had one job. One job. And you know what? Men can't help it. Their ego makes them tell people things like, I went to Oxford. He had one job, and it was not to mention that he knew Anthony. And he couldn't even help but name drop Oxford.
I've heard of a sore loser, Miss Sharma, but never a sore winner.
Do not speak to me or my sister ever again.
What? A bit much. Right. Kate, we get you're upset, but in public? Again, in public, and you keep giving the cut direct to a Viscount? Madame, let's just be a little better, okay? I know I literally just said the show is a fantasy, but manners are still manners, okay? You could not get away with this type of treatment and everyone would just be like, oh, that seems fine, okay, la 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 la. I'm being really mean to Kate, even though in the very last React video I did, I said as an older sister, I understand what she did. As an older sister, I would probably be, I have a younger brother, but if I had a younger sister and I saw some motherfucker that I didn't like courting my sister, I probably would be the same way too, to be perfectly honest. So let me try to get my viewpoints in line with each other, okay?
Bridgerton, perhaps this is not such a wise decision.
Seemed wise enough when you took half my pin money to escort me here.
How did she get out of the house? First off, I would be banging this footman. This footman was in season 1, and I remember noticing him. Why are you having an affair with Theo when you could be banging your footman? He's in your house. God, he's so much closer. You don't even have to travel an hour to the worst side of town. You could just be banging this guy left and right. I'm sorry. This man, this is who I be getting with. Okay? A friend of mine mentioned that they look like they could be brother and sister, and I'm not gonna lie. Theo and Eloise do look a little cousin-y, Like he definitely looks like he could be a Bridgerton. More than Colin. Eloise is attracted to someone that looks like a brother.
You're the rights of woman. The exploration of her mind, a mind which I can already discern is far, far superior to yours.
Can you imagine if some bitch comes up to your workplace and just starts talking to you about feminism? Girl, it is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'm tired. Why are we talking about feminism right now? Please, just go brush your teeth and go to bed. Please, what's happening?
You ensured the dowry was paid.
Of course I ensured the dowry was paid.
So why would they say this so out loud? I know the show is like boop-a-doop boop. Everything that happens with the Featheringtons is funny. Ha 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 ha. But, and everyone's a doofus. Ha ha ha. But come the fuck on. Why y'all gonna say this? Like, that wasn't even a whisper. It was barely a stage whisper. Come on, fuck on. Let me just... I am cussing so much. Let me excuse the fuck myself. Thank you.
Perhaps all this can wait.
He's a real big dummy for not trusting Lady Featherington. I mean, he does eventually, but he's then a big dummy for trusting her. There is no winning in this situation. You can't trust Portia. Portia's gonna double cross you. Bridgertons are next door and Portia is trying to double cross them left and right. So I kind of feel bad for Cousin Jack. But at the same time, I wish that Portia Featherington had boned him before she sent him away. Because I do think that Polly Walker, who's playing Portia, is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen and deserves to be banging whoever she wants to bang consistently.
He does have a pleasing smile.
He does. And honestly, Miss Varley should be getting her shit banged out too. She's having to cook potatoes. She's having to clean chamber pots. She didn't sign up for this type of life. So I hope there is a chimney sweep that is rocking her life. Oh shit, I'm still recording.
But also said the mark of a true gentleman is honesty, something the Viscount notably lacks.
I'm not sure the Viscount notably lacks honesty. I think, like, Anthony is very clear about what he wants, and what he wants is a wife that he doesn't want to fall in love with, you know what I mean? I think it's obviously Kate being very attracted to a man that her sister's also attracted to, and she's trying to stop all of it. So she's definitely, like, cock-blocking her sister, because Anthony very much is honest about what he's looking for. There's so much more Queen this season. I'm never going to be mad when we have more Black women in the show, but it is just like these plot points I'm not sure add anything, you know what I mean? I think it would even be better to have this not even be a thing and it just be a Lady Danbury Queen scene, because when Lady Danbury and Queen Charlotte are together, they're so funny and cute together. So I almost would rather that than them try to shoehorn in Kate and her sister in scenes with the Queen, because it's just, I just sit there like, y'all are trying to make this a thing and it doesn't really feel like a thing. Like, she sure enough didn't do this kind of shit for Daphne. She was like, nah, this is for women of color only, okay? The rest of y'all diamonds ain't coming to my house, all right? But now we got a brown girl in this bitch. My diamonds coming to see me, and I respect it.
Relish this frivolity nearly as much as I do. This season is different.
I was definitely harsh on them in my overview, but I'm gonna go along with y'all. It's good to see two bad bitches together. It is. Two older bad bitches together. I like them. I like that they know each other. They have a relationship this season that they didn't really have last season, but I'm down with it. Let's respect two bad bitches.
Do you know why I win every time? Because every time you lose, you claim we cheated.
I mentioned this in my overview, but it looks like they're all terrible fencers. I have to be honest, I'm not sure Anthony's really winning. I'd love to see him fence against someone that can fence. They all look like terrible fencers, okay? They look very bad. It is nice, though, seeing the family have their little scenes all together. I will say, in the books as well, the brothers have a really lovely relationship. I'd say even better than the sisters. You often see, in this book, Anthony kind of go to his brothers for advice, and this happens over the course of all of the books with all of the brothers coming together. It's a little different with the sisters. I don't know if their age difference makes a difference, or Daphne gets married and then Eloise gets married, so they're not in the household as much, but the brothers do have a really lovely relationship where they can vent to each other. So it is nice in the show to show them having kind of a brother, like, I'm gonna vent to you for a little bit, but let's make it about sports, so we're not talking about feelings, kind of like men always do. I like that a lot. Good change.
Exceptionally clear about what it is you do and do not wish for. But has it ever occurred to you this might in fact be about what your sister wishes for instead?
This is so I'll say this is one of their fights, right? The you don't even know me, and what about your sister, and this is very different. I'm just gonna say, again, I told you guys I'd talk about if the differences are big enough. This is very different than Kate and Anthony's relationship in the books. He's never, like, seemingly almost hurt by her judging him off the bat, right? He honestly, in the book, he's just like, yeah, I'm a rake, and so what? I'm gonna get with your sister. In fact, by this point, probably, I'd say around this point, he has already kissed Kate, and he's like, and I'm still gonna get with your sister. I know that sounds bad, but if you read the book, it's not that bad. It's a really sexy scene, because he can't stop wanting her, even though he thinks that she's wrong for him. So it's interesting that it feels like Show Anthony really does take offense to the fact that Kate is constantly calling him out. And I kind of understand why. He actually is quite responsible. He takes care of everyone in his family. He's paying for all their expenses. He's got to make sure all their estates are put together. And he needs to find a wife so he can start breeding. Because, again, he thinks he's probably going to die in the next 10 years. So it's an interesting choice. I think it's only a choice that it would have worked with an actor like Jonathan Bailey. But it does make for a very different dynamic between the two characters. Because in the books, their banter is not nearly as deep as this. When they go deep, it's their heart-to-heart talks that tend to happen like in the library scene or in the gardens. But it's interesting that we're getting this kind of reaction from Anthony so early on. And perhaps it's because it's a woman that he's attracted to like Kate, and she's calling him out on his bad behavior, and it is kind of hurtful for him to hear.
The place looks extraordinary. Though, am I a little early? The crowd will increase with time.
I love that, like, Benedict is going to Will's club and he hangs out with bohemians. I have seen, though, a lot of people being kind of upset that Benedict is not gay. I did mention in the first season that I was hoping he would be gay or bi or queer in some way. I saw someone comment, or I saw someone say that I feel like Julia Quinn's stipulations is that she did want all of the kids to end up with who their partners are in the books, but she didn't care how the creators of the show got there. So I think that means that Benedict will still end up with Sophie, but I don't know why they didn't at least have Benedict get with a man this season. He can be bi. Like, I don't know. It's a choice. They're definitely making a choice, and perhaps it is a choice that he is straight. But because he is an artist, because he's around other queer artists, because he's kind of the bohemian child, it does seem like a missed opportunity to make him bi. You know what I mean? And show him with a man, and then show him with women, and we could infer that he is bi, and then he ends up with Sophie. Like, it would have been okay. So but I do like that out of all of the kids, it feels like Benedict is the kindest one. You know what I mean? He's very open to talking to people and listening to people, and people that don't happen to be Bridgertons or the Ton, or relate to Bridgertons or the Ton, in a way that his siblings are not quite doing. So yeah, I hate that they have made me like Benedict. I hate that show Benedict is so good. Because honestly, book Benedict is a boring motherfucker, but in the show, I like him a lot. Like, what's this motherfucker doing? Y'all think a man would have come up and started river dancing?
Who are making fools of themselves this time?
No, this is stupid.
Was this your idea? One of them. But do not hold it against me.
Oh, what happens in the books is Edwina and Eloise actually become friends. They're around the same age. If you notice, they're both coming out this season, right? So they're both around 16, 17, 18, something around there. And they become friends. And it is another reason that Kate and Anthony are kind of put into contact with each other, right? And so it is interesting that because Eloise is so much more no nonsense in the show, that she is better able to kind of have a friendship or a companionship with Kate, and which is a very big difference than her relationship with Edwina in the books. It's because their personalities are completely different in the show than they were in the books. Edwina in the books is pretty no nonsense. She's also pretty no nonsense. She's not like very like innocent, doesn't know what's going on. She very much wants to marry a wealthy man to take care of Kate and her mother. Whereas in the show, as we've learned, Edwina knows nothing about how poor her family is. Somehow. I almost wish Lady Danbury was as mean as she is in the books. I think it would be more fun. I wonder if they didn't want to play her mean because the actress is black and we didn't want some like angry black woman stereotype, but in the books, Lady Danbury is much more of an old curmudgeon. Like, she's older than Adjoa is in real life, and she's like I want to say like in her late 70s, and she's just done. She's done. She insults everybody. Everyone in the Ton is afraid of her. So I almost wish she had been like, y'all suck. Like, I would have loved just a little bit more mean energy, particularly in this scene where all the men are terrible.
You are at 12, Miss Penelope Featherington.
Edwina is so kind. It's what makes it so hard about the way Anthony and Kate go around behind her back in the show, because she's actually a really kind individual in the show, and I see why people are like, damn, Kate and Anthony fucking suck for the way they treated her, because, like, she's really sweet and cute and young and innocent, and it's just fucking hard. I just think it was stupid to have had her really like Anthony the way that she does in the show, because it just makes kind of her sister's betrayal suck all the more.
So much interest shown in a young lady whom none of us really know.
Not a devotee.
Bitch, she just gave you a compliment, and you gonna be real petty about her? Showing some jealousy? She a petty bitch. I'm trying to be on your side, Penelope, but you petty.
And yet, after everything that happened with Miss Thompson, I realized I never truly knew this person at all. Myself.
This is some fuckboy behavior. A man tells you he went on a retreat. He got to know himself. Bitch, run! 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 This is a man that's gonna fuck up your whole life. You wrote him letters nonstop, and he's talking about he got to know himself better. I'm good, sir. Go be with yourself.
Thompson. So, I cleared my head, swore off women and love, and, well, I only wanted to...
That's what you get, Penelope. When you encourage a man, now he's sworn off love. That's what you get. Stop encouraging men. Ladies, stop encouraging men, okay? Ruin them instead.
To look at her and feel inspiration? To delight in her beauty? So much so that all your defenses crumble, that you would willingly take on
that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent.
Why doesn't she get with Lord Lumley? Are we supposed, like, I don't quite understand. Is there something about him we're not supposed to like? I think he is delightful. I think he is sweet. I think he is kind of awkward. I think he and Edwina would work so well together. Why do they never get back together? I think the issue is the season is, some people have talked about the pacing, and I'm not sure if I agree about pacing issues so much as writing issues, but I guess that's also pacing issues. But if we could have had Edwina and Anthony really break up in episode 5, her be upset with her sister or something, if we could have by episode 6, 7 have Edwina at least reconnecting with Lord Lumley, I think it would have worked out that she and him would have made sense together, you know? It kind of sucks that Edwina leaves the season with no one. That's very, 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 very different from the books. In the books, Edwina meets a man who's very scholarly, who she really wants to be with, and she's actually relieved when Kate and Anthony get together, because it means she is freed up to get with the man that she actually wants to be with, who's kind of a nerd just like she is. And so I just don't know why she doesn't get with this, like, super awkward but cute nerd. I think they would have worked so well together.
To look at her and feel inspiration.
I did shit on this scene. I think in my overall review, I was like, this is so unrealistic. The Viscount Bridgerton is not going to a soiree. But if I think of this in terms of a rom-com, which I do love a fucking rom-com, this is a hella rom-com scene, right? Like the really powerful man showing his vulnerability in front of a group of women on poetry night. This is very rom-com, romantic drama scene. So I understand why it happened. It's still just, I wish there was a different reason for him to recite poetry to some woman. This just still seems very like, to me, but I get why it happened. It's a super rom-com moment and a show that it very much is about female gaze and what women like to see. So I get why it happened. You guys want each other. What? Look at the way they look at each other. God, you guys, I'm sorry. They look at each other. They are eye banging at all. They hate. It's hatred, but it's also eye fucking. Why are they not fucking? Like, I'm sorry. All these people trying to like talk about, no, the slow burn is so much better. Slow burns in books only work when For me, they get together about 2/3 of the way through so we can at least have some consummation. Slow burns to me that go on all the way, it's too much slow burn. I have seen a lot of South Asian viewers of the show talk about this very specifically being a Bollywood-based season, where in a lot of Bollywood films, kind of there's a long slow burn, and at the very, very end of the film is when the consummation, like kiss happens, or they finally get together. And I completely understand that, but I will just say I miss these two being, I just would love if these two had been able to get together so much sooner, because their eye fucking is so hot, and their real fucking could have been hot too.
Content. Are you so miserable, my lady?
I beg your pardon?
Are you not alone yourself?
How dare you talk to your elder that way? Lady Danbury's about to go off on her, and she should! Lady Danbury is a widow. She has a son or daughter and a grandson. In fact, her grandson is the one who gets with Hyacinth in the future. In Hyacinth's book, Hyacinth gets with, I think, Lady Danbury's grandson, I believe. Grandson or godson? I think it's her grandson. So, like, you ain't gonna come for her, honey. You ain't gonna come for her, right? She did her shit. She's happy now having parties and what I believe may also be orgies. There's no way Lady Danbury hasn't had an orgy or two, right? She looks like a frisky lady.
Because I have lived a life.
Right.
I am a widow.
Right.
I have loved. I have lost.
She's lost.
I have earned the right to do whatever I please, whenever I...
I'm sorry. I've earned the right to do whatever I please, whenever I please. Don't come for me, unless I send for you.
Please, and however I please to do it. Child, you are not me.
You ain't me, and you never gonna be me.
And
I love Kate, by the way.
Down this road, you most certainly never will.
Oh! She needed this. She needed this talk. Because I don't know who you think you are, but you're not going to be in my house talking to me this way.
At least the elder Sharma's opinion on such a matter is certainly no secret at all.
And look at Violet noticing it, right? Okay, guys, we finished episode 2. It's getting hard for me to watch because the parts of the show I like are still great, and the parts of the show I'm bored by are still boring. I am seeing more stuff in the second watch through, little things here and there that I'm enjoying a lot. I am enjoying the Queen and Lady Danbury more than I did on the first watch through because at least they are entertaining. I am enjoying the brother Bridgertons a lot more because at least they're entertaining. I am still bored by any Penelope Eloise plot. They just don't do it for me in the show. I don't care very much about what they're talking about. And it's also just so clear to everyone already, should be to everyone already, that Kate and Anthony have more chemistry than Anthony and Edwina. So it does feel like a huge waste of time, especially from this point on, that we are gonna just let these two people languish in this staring at each other when we could be seeing them together more. I think that's why, like, I think at this point in my first watch, I was just like, okay, this is where it's gonna take off. And then it just never took off. And then we got to episode 6 and I was like, oh shit, they're never gonna show their wedding, or they're never really gonna show them together, and this is what we're gonna get. So it's interesting kind of feeling the same feelings that I had in the first watch through. Although I am finding more moments of, I guess, joy with some of the other characters, because at least I'm paying attention to them now. The first watch through, I really was paying attention to Kate and Anthony, and that's why I was so deeply disappointed. So this go round, I'm really looking more at Benedict. I'm looking at Lady Danbury. I'm looking at the Queen more, because at least those characters are bringing some joy and levity to the show that we don't get with Kate and Anthony. The reason why this is a problem to me is, again, I'm going to bring it just back to the books. Kate and Anthony in the books have a lot of levity. They're quite funny together. There is this lovely scene that happens very early on in the book where Kate and Anthony go to a ball. Kate walks out to the hallway because she needs a break, and then someone comes into the hallway, so she sneaks into an office. It's Anthony's office, and of course Anthony brings in an opera singer, and he starts to like make out with the opera singer, and Kate hides under a desk, and it's a very funny scene, and and Anthony ends up kissing Kate in that scene. It's the first time that they kiss, and it's just like there are moments of a lot, like I laughed reading The Viscount Who Loved Me. I laugh every time I read the book, and I don't particularly find historical romances that funny, but I laugh a lot in that book because Kate and Anthony are constantly trying to figure out ways to one-up each other, and it's so silly, and it's sexy and funny and cute, and we don't get a lot of moments like that in the show, which is just, you know, I've said it before, it's a shame, because I think that Jonathan Bailey and Simone Ashley have a lot of chemistry, and they could have shown more of the fun moments between them so that the season as a whole didn't feel so much like a slog sometimes. Okay, lovelies, that is it for now. I am done. Thank God I'm done. And I will be back at some point in the coming up week to review episode 3 of Bridgerton season 2. All right, bye.